Wedding planners, what is the most ridiculous couple you've ever met? I've been a wedding planner for 7 years and OMG, this one couple still gives me nightmares lol. Ruby and Howard came to me looking totally normal at first, but I swear they were testing how much bullshit I could handle before quitting. So they booked me for their dream wedding last summer. First meeting was fine. Basic stuff. 150 guests. Hotel venue. Nothing crazy. Ruby was this super high energy girl who talked a mile a minute and Howard just kinda nodded along to whatever she said. Like literally everything. Red flag number 1 TBH. The next meeting is when things got weird. Ruby shows up with this massive binder labeled Our Perfect Day in glitter letters and starts flipping through these insanely detailed pages. She wanted a specific type of imported orchid that only blooms like 2 weeks a year. She needed exactly 14 doves released at the exact moment they said I do. The cake had to be exactly 6 feet tall with working water fountains between the tiers. I was taking notes trying not to look shocked while Howard just sat there scrolling on his phone. I told her some of this might be challenging given their budget and she like full on froze. Then she smiled and was like, oh, we'll make it work. And Howard just nodded without looking up. I should have ran right then far. 2 weeks later, Ruby texted me at 3 a.m. about changing the entire color scheme because she had a dream that purple was bad luck. I spent days redoing everything. Then she decided the wedding had to be moved up by 3 months because her psychic said the original date had negative energy. The venue had to scramble to accommodate, but somehow we made it happen. Things got really wild when Ruby insisted on having live butterflies released during their first dance. I explained that butterflies don't perform on command and might just fly away or die. She legit started crying, saying I was trying to ruin her special day. Howard finally spoke up, but only to say, just figure it out, before going back to his phone. The rehearsal dinner was a complete disaster. Ruby's mom, Alice, and Howard's dad, Franklin, got into this huge argument about the seating arrangement. Alice kept insisting that her ex-husband's new girlfriend needed to be seated in another zip code, basically. And Franklin was like, they're adults, they can handle it. And Ruby was in the bathroom having a meltdown, while Howard was nowhere to be found. I found Howard outside smoking with some guy named Leroy, who I'd never seen before. I asked if he could please come help with Ruby, and he literally said, that sounds like a you problem, and kept smoking. Leroy laughed like it was the funniest thing ever. The wedding day arrives, and I'm running on 2 hours of sleep and 6 Red Bulls. Ruby shows up 3 hours late to her own wedding, because she decided her makeup wasn't perfect. The guests are getting drunk and restless. Howard is just sitting in the groom's suite playing video games like nothing's wrong. When Ruby finally arrives, she immediately starts screaming because the flowers are the wrong shade of white. They were literally the exact ones she approved. She made the florist cry and threatened to sue me. Somehow we get everyone down the aisle. The ceremony starts and everything is actually going okay until the ring bearer, Ruby's 5-year-old cousin, trips and drops the rings. Ruby stops the whole ceremony to yell at this child until he's sobbing. Reception time and the DJ plays the wrong first dance song. Ruby throws her bouquet at him and storms off. Howard follows her, but I overhear them in the hallway and he's not comforting her. He's mad because she's making a scene and embarrassing him in front of Leroy, who apparently is his boss. Dinner is served, and Ruby finds a piece of parsley garnish on her plate that wasn't supposed to be there. She flips the entire table, not just her plate, the whole table. That's when Ruby drops the bomb that she's pregnant, and it's not Howard's baby. Howard just stares at her and then looks over at Leroy, who is suddenly looking very uncomfortable. Turns out Ruby and Leroy had been hooking up for months, and Howard knew about it because they had some weird arrangement. But apparently Leroy was supposed to be careful, and now Ruby was pregnant, and Howard was pissed not about the cheating, but because it messed up their plan. Alice starts screaming at Franklin, accusing him of raising a spineless worm, and Franklin is yelling that Ruby was always trash, and it escalates until security has to come. I found Ruby in the bathroom crying, saying she never wanted to marry Howard anyway, but her parents pressured her and she only agreed if she could have the most expensive wedding possible, as revenge for them forcing her into it. Howard apparently only proposed because his dad promised him a position in the family business if he settled down. They still expected me to refund them because the wedding wasn't perfect, even though they were the ones who destroyed it. When I refused, Ruby's dad threatened to sue me and ruin my business. Found out last month that Ruby, Howard, and Leroy are now living together raising the baby as a throuple. They're planning a commitment ceremony and had the audacity to call me asking if I'd plan it for them. I blocked their number so fast my phone nearly caught fire.